Hello, thank you everyone for coming. You all have come because you also believe that child abuse has been a problem in our country. Child abuse in the United States. In the United States, there are more than 4 children that die from child abuse and neglect a day. 70% of these children are below the age of 3 years old, in which 48.5% are boys and the other 51.2% are girls. In sexual abuse, there are 2.9 million cases reported in 1 year alone. 1 out of 3 girls and 1 out of 5 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18. It's sad to hear 68% of these children are abused from their own family members. With the abuse that goes on to these precious children, it is sad. The percentage of children that are harmed every day due to adults and teens who are poorly educated in taking care of children. The male sex is most likely to be abused by someone outside of the home. The offenders are both men and women who abuse these young boys. The female sex is most likely to be abused by family members, and the offenders are mostly men. We need to stop this abuse to these poor, innocent children. Our offenders. In 2012, it was found that 82.2% of the offenders were found to be between the ages of 18 and 44 years old, of which 39.6% are in the age group of 25 to 34 years old. How this affects our children as they grow. These children who are being abused are 59% more likely to be arrested as juveniles and 28% more likely to be arrested as an adult. They are also 30% more likely to commit violent crimes. There are 14% of all men and 36% of all women in our prisons are victims of child abuse. If we would stop the child abuse, then our prisons wouldn't be full of sex for these children when grown up. Abused children are most likely to not practice safe sex and also have 25% chance have a 25% rate of getting pregnant as a teen due to low self-esteem. How I feel we can help children from this dark future. By being able to understand our children. By learning how they behave and what they do at different ages. They do have websites with lists that will tell you how they act at different ages. Make realistic expectations and respond reasonable if the child has fallen short of your expectations. Like, if you want them to, you shouldn't force them to be what you want them to be. They're going to be whoever they are, and you shouldn't try to tell them that they're wrong for it. By keeping our children healthy, feeding them, watering them, normal stuff, guys. It's all we have to do to our children. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, please seek help. Watch your words. Don't say angry words or use punishing language. Make sure you have a clear head before a punishment. Like, think before you speak, or calm down at least. Give yourself time to calm down. Set clear rules for your children. Take time outs if you begin to get frustrated. Make your home a violent-free place, which means like video games, TV shows. You shouldn't have violence at home. Making a better future. Join support programs for first-time parents. Take regular breaks from your children. How can we help others from abusing their children? By offering helping hands to friends, neighbors, and relatives, even strangers. We all know when someone is having a rough time. Asking the community leaders, clergy, libraries, and schools to develop services to meet the needs of our children and families. Helping our future thrive. By asking neighbors to get together, scheduling playdates for our children, promote programs in schools, volunteer at local child abuse prevention, always report any and all suspected abuse or neglect. Quotes. To terrify children with the image of hell, to consider women an inferior creation. Is that good for our world? That's not good for our world. That's why we have all these issues nowadays, because no one really cares. Many abused children cling to hope that growing will brings escape and freedom, but the personality formed in the environment of control is not well adapted to adult life. The survivor is left with fundamental problems in basic trust and initiative. She approaches the task of early adulthood, establishing independence and intimacy, burdened by major impairments in self-care, in cognition of and in memory, in identity, and in its capacity to form stable relationships. She is till a prisoner of her childhood, attempting to create a new life. She re-encounters the trauma, which is why a lot of our children go to jail and get pregnant at early ages. I read this article today. This is a case of a little boy in Manhattan who was starved and brutally beaten by his mother's boyfriend as she stood idly by and watched her son be beat to death. The mother woke up to her boyfriend yelling at her son, Zamir, and poking him with a sharp end of a broken broomstick. The boyfriend was yelling at the little 6-year-old boy for having a BM in the living room. The boyfriend began to beat the child from the chest down to his legs. The mother thought that her son being beat like this was okay because little Zamir had a BM in the living room. The one thing they don't tell you in this story is the little boy was afraid of the dark. And the little boy did not go to the bathroom because they didn't have their electricity on. And it was too dark for him, so he decided to go to the bathroom in the living room, which any little child would do probably if they're scared of the dark. As the mother watched her boyfriend beat her son, the boyfriend then thought it would be best if he punished the boy more by picking the child up and taking him in the bathroom, and decided to washboard the little boy in the toilet. The mother followed to watch the abuse continue. As she watched, she saw her son's body starting to go limp. This was not the end of the abuse. The boyfriend then decided to pull down the shower hose head and beat the little boy with that as well. As the little boy's body became limp, the mom told jurors that normally the child would play possum to save himself from these beatings. She allowed her boyfriend to do it to the child. She also stated they would smack him to see if he was still alive, but this time it didn't work. The boyfriend then hung the little Zamir's body on a hook on the back of the bathroom door. Both the mother and the boyfriend left the bathroom and left poor little Zamir's lifeless body hanging there for hours. The mother cleaned the whole apartment and even ate breakfast before even going back to check on her child, or even get medical assistance. The mother stated to jurors that she saw her boyfriend go check on Zamir and then take him off the hook and throw his lifeless body into the spare room between a dresser and bed. That's when the mom went and checked on the child and then realized the child was dead and could only think, I'm going to jail. I'm in trouble. It is people like this who bring hell onto children who should have had cared for the child. We cannot stand around as people and hear the cries of innocent children screaming and not do anything about it. If you hear it, see it, or just think it's happening, call CPS or the cops, because if you ignore this, you are ignoring our future. And if you are ignoring our future, there will be no great future for all of us. Thank you. Have a good night.